Well, I think microphone is weak. It's really weak, and as a vocalist, I should have the skills to be able to convey my emotions regardless of sound. But okay, thank you. So it's awesome to see that by fucking things up, since I was saying that I'm fucking up less and less, I sort of really pointed it out by fucking it up atrociously. But thanks. And feel free, and I'll just highlight. Check it out. No sound. No sound. Dude, you guys are nice. Fuckhead might also be a pretty good way of addressing such a fantastic intro. But this is how it happens when we party naked and we go live without any seatbelt or precautions. I was saying that it's the 12th of June and it's a Friday, and I've been doing these streams now for quite some time. This, I think, is the 10th, 11th time that I'm on. And I said from the very beginning that I have been inclined to do this for as long as I found it to be amusing. And actually, I find it to be amusing thanks to you guys, because I do get responses and I get questions. And despite not being able to communicate at all with, the audience that I'm sort of, as a musician, used to, I can at least find some sort of bubble where I can communicate here. So for that, I'm grateful, and thanks for showing up. And it's actually also it's quite interesting to see that people are picking up on the recorded stuff as well. I did, however, do a bummer, and so like you noticed when I went online here, you always take a risk when you go, without a huge production, no producers, no nothing. Basically, it's just me, a laptop, some gadgets, a microphone, and you see what happens. So I was to do an interview with Johan of Tiamat last Sunday, and I hadn't really been clear on what it meant. So we had to do it offline instead, because I hadn't conveyed the how this is going to work. But I'm going to share that in a while, because I am also pretty, hell-bent on doing stuff. When I've set out to do it, I really want to do it. And I find Johan to be such an interesting, and for me, very important lyricist and musician. So I really wanted to ask him a few things and share it. And he was gracious enough to do it, despite it being, more complicated than we originally thought it to be. But that happens. I also see actually one of the guys in NETHERBIRD in the chat. So hello, Tobias. How are you doing? And how are the rest of you guys doing? Let me know. Don't be shy. I'm doing okay. But I've been, and this is going to be, forgive me if I get a bit more personal, but this pandemic that's been going on has been abstract to me in a way that, of course, I read the news, I see the data, I see how things are happening, but it's been abstract in the sense that I think I've had it. I think I had it early March, but I'm not sure because I haven't been able to do any tests. But I spoke to a very close friend, a childhood friend, yesterday, and he was at the hospital with his mother, who is in critical condition, and it's not so likely she will see the end of COVID. And that makes it way more, concrete. That it is actually an atrocious illness, and it's out there, and it's affecting us all. So the numbers and statistics for me took on a completely different meaning. And of course, I'm not stupid. I realize that it's people behind all those statistics, but it's hard to grasp it until it really comes so much closer. So we are all obliged to do what we can to act smart here, and to keep realizing that this problem is not going to go away anytime soon, and it's a huge problem if you're personally affected, and especially if you're a little bit older. So we have to be smart and careful. Of course, I mean, we all know that theoretically, but it's so easy to be wise when it doesn't really, mean anything. But when it's close, it's something completely different. But I mean, this is the reality that we have to deal with, and this is why I'm doing this broadcast rather than standing on a stage. And this is why you guys are stuck at home, I guess, listening to me and to other stuff, because we all do our part in containing this. And the world has never, of course, the world has seen stuff, but it's always dangerous, I think, to do the comparison game. So in modern times, this is the biggest challenge we have faced globally. And I actually, as you will hear in a bit, I talked to Johan in Tiamat also about that. And I mean, he's in Canada, but I mean, they are just as affected as we are, and as people are all over the globe. So it's, in that sense, it's a weird situation for us all. But I'm not going to dwell too much on it, because I mean, we all know about it, and we're all tired of it, and we just need to make life worthwhile despite this. And this is why I'm sitting here and doing my fantastic internet streams. And I was a bit happy to use this new sort of thing, where I can also put some videos and stuff into the stream, and I might do more of that. It always ends up with copyright issues on YouTube, but for me that's not really a problem, because the goal here is not to make any revenue or income or whatever, the 2 cents from the YouTube stream. So for me, it's fine that if there is a copyright claim and it's music from another artist, the little, almost non-existent payment will go to the rights holder, which is totally fine with me. And the copyright seems to be working on YouTube, which has not always been the case. But you guys are okay, I hope. I mean, it's taxing on us all, and I think I'm so damn tired every day. I get like hit by tiredness a few times a day, and to me that's a little bit. I'm not used to that. I think it's for me. I think it's because I don't get so much interaction with people, and this might not come as a huge surprise. I'm a pretty talkative person, and I talk to people around me a lot, and when I can't, I get a little bit, I don't know. I get some frustration. But in any case, I'm not here to complain. On the contrary, I'm here to celebrate life with you guys. But now I'm going to do, and this is not a sponsored feature, but in some time I will have an old friend with me who is the drummer of a band called NETHERBIRD. But I can enjoy NETHERBIRD already now, because they have launched a beer, a stout, called Draco. And as far as I know, it's only available in the Swedish state monopoly liquor store, because Swedes cannot be trusted to buy alcohol from their own stores. Only People's Beer that I spoke of earlier, which are like weak, and this is pretty strong. And I bought 6 of them because I support good people. But now I'll see if it's also a beer that I will enjoy. So this will be my test run of the Drakon beer, and it's a stout. At least it's dark, so I'm happy about that. It's strong, so I might pass out a bit later, but that's okay, because the second half of this, Alexandra, cheers. Hernan, cheers. Mario, cheers. Manu, cheers. Jonathan, cheers. Fabiano, cheers. Ioannis, cheers. I am... So now I'm going to try it. Braco. So bear with me. It smells fucking delicious. It's good, gritty, texturized stuff. I actually really like it. I wouldn't be able to drink many because then I'd be way too excited about everything and collapse in a little collapsed state. But a few of these I can sincerely recommend. Temple Brygghus, Swedish brewery, also really cool. Let's be honest, really fucking cool that a brewery is working with a real underground band. It's not one of the big ones, you know, In Flames or whatever, that, you know, will sell tons just because it's their logo on it. These are guys that are extremely serious about their music and extremely serious also about the beer that they slap their logo on. And that also means that it's a serious brewery. So it's seriously serious. But cool. I recommend it if you ever happen to be in Sweden. They're extremely limited edition, but I still have a few. So if you drop by my place, you can have one. Maybe, if I don't drink them all, because it was really tasty. And feel free, if you have anything that you are curious about, or if you just, you know, want to scream out in caps lock, do that in the chat, because that's why it's there, and that's why I'm here. I've got some questions. I've been speaking, or rather rambling, on and off about underground music and whether it's, you know, if it's good if it's underground, or if it really doesn't matter. And I come to the conclusion by talking to myself out loud here that I'm so hypocritical that I prefer stuff if it's more obscure just because it's more obscure. So for me, being underground, being obscure, it's good in itself. And I have a hard time seeing stuff that I really love becoming too big and too public, because then I tend to lose maybe a little bit of interest in it. So it's been revealing about myself. The can design, check it out. It's a many-headed dragon, Hydra, really beautiful. I will talk to the drummer in a bit, and maybe he can explain a little bit more in detail about what we see here on the can. And I will try to save one for that talk. Really nice. So yeah, that the question that I got sent in was whether, you know, underground is better per se, and I come to the conclusion that yeah, fuck, I am not such a grand person. So for me, if stuff is harder to find or not so popular, I tend to like it a little bit more by default. So yeah. Then I was asked about lyrics. So I will, before we go into the next segment of this show, I will can just take that question up actually. Let me see. This is preparation. It's key. All right. Here's from a writer. The lyric. I know that the lyric is important to you and that you're inspired by literature and other cultural expressions. She knows this because we did an interview back in the day that I wasn't aware that she was the one interviewing me. It's almost 10 years. But how does it concretely fan out with the songwriting in NETHERBIRD? Do you write the lyrics to the music, or is it rather poems first that you then put music to, or is it a combination? Well, of course we start with my sharp pen, and everybody just follows my lead. Not so many in the band is in the chat, because hell would be only... No. Okay. I guess every band writes their stuff differently, but NETHERBIRD, being a constellation that's been changing over the years also, I think that might be important to remember, that the only constant in NETHERBIRd since the inception of the band is me and Bismarck, the guitarist. And he has more or less written all the music and me all the lyrics throughout the years. And we started NETHERBIRD in 2004, October the 30th, at the Dissection reunion gig, or rebirth gig in Stockholm. We were 3 then. The other guitarist and us, we parted ways some way after a few years. And since then, it's basically, we've been the creative force, because we have had an ever-changing lineup. It's starting to change now, and because now we have a more solid lineup. But historically, we always done it that Bismarck writes the basic structures of the song. And he does it according to his own ideas and visions, and the music he has is in his head all the time. And he is extremely productive. He does all sorts of music, but when it comes to, more blackish music, he has an idea in the head, and he writes that. So it's more or less, the basic song is there when I get to hear it. What I do then is that I listen to it intensely, and this sounds lame or like a construction, whatever, but it is actually, I don't know how others do it, but this is how I do it. I listen to it until I know what the song is called. I listen to it until I get an idea. Okay, so this is Lighthouse Eternal, or this is Blood Orchid, or this is The Beauty of Bones. I get an idea that I think this is the title of the song. This feels like the song. And what I then do is that I write lyrics explaining the title to myself. I sort of dissect, because normally I put a title which is abstract, or maybe that paints the picture or something. Then I try to dig into that title, and that becomes the lyrics. Then I start to fight with Bismarck as we record it, because then my lyrics tend to not work 100% with the music, because I'm not a very musical person. I am old school and crude, and I have always an optimistic idea how many words I can fit into whatever. So then it's a trade-off where we chisel back and forth a little bit. Sometimes we extend, of course, a part of the song in order to, facilitate more music, more lyrics. But normally, the song, we are pretty much in agreement on the song. This is how it should be, and then I work with the lyrics. I tend to always overwrite, so I have much more lyrics than I ever need to each song, and I have a lot of spare lyrics, which are normally okay, Frederick, so you're also here. Yeah. This is the tough shit. I'm down to 11 soon, my friend. Drummers also in the chat. I'm scared. I need to watch my tongue now. Happy to see you, man, and happy to see you also, Julia. It's been a while. So this is how it works. There is a song. I write the title, and then I explain the title to myself, or write the title. How do I come up with the concept? normally it's actually, I seem to have some sort of weird brain. So I'm not sitting being all poetic all the time. Rather, I get a word or a sentence that just sticks with me. And they just sit there. It can be a short word like pentiment. I heard it on TV, watching some documentary, and that's sort of when the painter alters his vision for a painting. And what a fucking great word. So then I know when I hear such a thing and start thinking about it and Google it a little bit, that I will write something about that. It will be in a lyric somewhere, or I find a phrase, hopefully just a word, but sometimes a phrase like the ferocious tides of fate. Perfect title for an album, but it takes me some time to sort of find to get it right. But that's basically how it's done. I will delve more into lyrics and my favorite lyricists and stuff, but I will do it in a differently themed cast further down the road, where I will also bring some other friends who are also lyricists, and we will talk about lyrics together. But I have, and this is also part of the question, that I've published the lyrics of NETHERBIRD in book form. And could I imagine publishing poetry just as books? I think the simple answer is no. I don't feel my words without the music. I need the music to find the words, the meaning. I don't think it would be a very thick book if I was just to sit and pen stuff. Maybe later on in life, but currently I don't think so, because I think the music is so important as a catalyst when I write. So I think it'll be a very thin book. I wish I could say it differently, that I'm an inspired poet and I open my bottle of red wine in the Friday evening and then it just comes, but it doesn't. It fucking doesn't. For me, it's hard work. So I need to sit and fight with the songs until I get it right. But once I get going, once I find the theme, and the theme is normally a little bit different for each album, then I can pen the lyrics for an album in a few weeks or a month. Depends a little bit. Some songs are much easier for me to write, and they tend to be more melodic, and if it's more rhythmic, I find it harder. It's not so easy for me to pen that. But yeah, normally I get the job done eventually. So that is what I can say about lyrics. But I think I am so delighted when people ask me, of course, because that's, otherwise I don't have much to say. And also, I do find inspiration from various stuff. And then I was asked, what books do I read currently? And problematically enough, I'm currently reading a lot of Swedish books, but this I read, called Jag for ner till bror. I went down to my brother. Swedish angst of the worst kind, like rural anxiety and problematic family relations. Typically Swedish author. Karin Smirnoff. I liked it. But it made me, it gave me angst. This is also a system so remarkable that it blinds you. Amanda Svensson. Ett system så magnifikt att det bländar. Awesome book about triplets. Swedish dysfunctional family with a lot of angst. A little bit more of a positive tone. Third is Testamente. I'm not so sure about the author here. It's Nordic. Either it's Swedish, or I don't think so. It seems like a Finnish or Finnish-Swedish author about complicated family issues and angst. So that's that. Third book that I read recently. Fourth book, The Hen Who Dreamt of Flying by Sumi Wang. This one. And this one is, of course, available in all sorts of languages, Korean book. Which is more of a fairy tale, but of course, it has a much deeper meaning. This is the one I'm reading currently for a few more days, or a day more. So I try to keep reading, but I don't read the heavy classics often. I read a lot of current authors, and I try to find, debutantes and stuff like that. But I steal mostly from TV series and visual stuff. Books, not so much. I don't know why. But actually, words that pop out or sentences that pop out and just sticks to my little sticky brain, that is the thing that tends to end up as NETHERBIRD lyrics eventually. But then it goes through the machinery. There was also a question whether, and I think this is important, blah, blah, blah. Does it happen that other band members have opinions or think that something is less great? Wait. Well, it was just a ghost. Does other band members have opinion? Yes, it happens. So far, I've never been stopped. I'd say my band members are extremely supportive, because writing lyrics is scary shit. At least to me. I'm not. I'm full of doubt always, especially when it comes to my lyrics. I'm getting a little bit more. What can I say? Confident about it, because now we've done it and I sort of found my style. But I would rewrite lyrics if a band member told me that they can't. If they don't like it, that's debatable. I mean, it depends on what. But if they would feel like they can't, that they would feel that this represents something they cannot back, then I think I'd have to change it, because for me it's crucial that everybody involved in the band currently also feel that they can say that the lyrics are fine, at least. I wouldn't, of course, I try not to write lyrics that come across as, whatever, but you never know. So if somebody will feel that this is fucking offensive, or I'm not really comfortable with this, then I wouldn't fight and say, my poetry over everything, because it's a rock band, it's a metal band, and we need to be able to stick to it, at least to the level where we say, I think it could be penned differently, but I'm okay with it. So they need to be okay. But I feel mostly I'm not questioning. I feel supported most of the time by my band members, and I would say that I think they all at least care to some degree about the lyrics. So yeah. But I will get back to the lyric thing in a later episode where I will collect some other friends and we'll talk lyrics in depth. But I would say, and I've said it before, lyrics is a vital part of NETHERBIRD. There is the artwork, it's the lyrics, and the music. If I had to pick one, of course, music, because we're a metal band, and it will always come down to the riffs, but the rest should be equally good, I think. But still, I'm not considering doing a spoken word album, because I think it would be less amusing to me, at least. But as any opinions so far? You guys are awfully quiet, but it might be that I am talking my head off. Matthias says he finds it interesting that it's different if it's melody and rhythm. Yeah, I think anybody in the band could agree, actually. It could be that rhythm requires a different, maybe higher level of musicality. So I find it more difficult to write to it because it's another challenge, not only tone or flow, but also it's another factor that I need to consider. And if it's a two-stroke beat, that is tricky for me. It's easier to do it if it's really quick. Grind or blast, I find easier to write to than more rhythmic stuff. But I'm getting more and more used to it, and I also think by being guest in other bands, I've learned more to decode more rhythmic music, like Sodom Misery, RIKET, and so forth. So I'm still actually learning a lot, and I'm learning from my band members also. But I am the one struggling the most with rhythms, no doubt about that. But however, I am the one who talks the most, so it makes sense that I'm the singer. And they are not here to tell me to shut the fuck up either. So that's to that. And here is to underground, really good underground black metal lager or stuff. So that's that. Okay, hello. I was going to say this earlier. If you've seen me before, and Hanan, sometimes I'm so afraid of mispronouncing names that I rather, just do whatever to address something in the chat rather than to, risk mispronouncing. But I've decided to risk mispronouncing names rather than trying to not talk myself around it, because it doesn't work so well. So if I mispronounce your name, send me a wave file through Facebook where you tell me how to pronounce it, and I will maybe learn it in 100 years. I like your lyrics, says Lucy. I always discover new words here and there. Thank you, Lucy. And thank you for last when we were at the Rammstein gig, which was amazing. Thank you so much for fixing that. Really appreciated it. And we go way back. Find new words. That's cool. I try from the very beginning. I've tried to write as simple English as possible, because then I risk the least to get it wrong. Because I'm a Swedish native speaker, and my Swedish level of Swedish, it can be debated. Stockholmians, of course, think I speak peasant Swedish, and I do, because I'm from the Smolandic region, where we're proud of not sounding like the stuck-up fucking Stockholmians. Now I live in the city, and I sort of, like a chameleon, try to blend in as everybody else. But my level of Swedish is fairly decent. My English is okay, absolutely, I think. Not 100% pronunciation and stuff, and I'm not trying to mimic being English. But my English in writing it's absolutely fair, but I am nowhere near a native speaker. So sometimes you find words that are really cool, but you risk of not knowing the exact detail of the connotations of it, and then it can become awfully wrong, or at least slightly wrong. So it's still like, knitting with boxing gloves when it comes to English, because I'm not as precise and not 100% certain sometimes. So I try to avoid the most difficult words, also because our listeners are not always native speakers either. But sometimes I forget that and use words that are a little bit maybe less common. In any case, so that is about the lyrics. I do really appreciate getting those questions, but as you see, I do not prepare, because I don't want to sit here and read from a paper. Oh yeah, the lyric is there. I will take a question and I will just talk, and whatever comes out comes out, and that's okay. That's well, I guess the beauty of the online media. But I will actually now, since I did speak to Johan of Tiamat, I want to share that conversation, and it's not a multimedia production from the NETHERBIRD megacorp. It's me who recorded a conversation on Zoom on a slightly shitty internet connection, and that's that. So if it's not perfect, it's because it's not perfect. But it's a chance for you to hear a little bit about his ideas and my ideas about lyrics and other stuff. So I'll put that on. I will be here in the chat, but this is a recorded interview. So Johan will not, I don't think he is in the chat. So, but you can contact him on Facebook or wherever. But this is how our conversation went. So I'll try to shut up. Thank you so much for taking time. I do this. These are not interviews. I'm not a journalist. Thank you so much for taking time. I do this. These are not interviews. I'm not a journalist. I'm a fellow human being and a music appreciator, and sometimes a metalhead, sometimes a goth, whatever.
Metalhead goth, to me, is much better than a journalist.
So,
yeah.
My idea with doing this is to break isolation between people like you and me, and also to break isolation with everybody who's stuck at home during this this pandemic. And we're all just trying to cope with reality, I suppose. But how are things with you? You are in Canada right now.
Yeah, I am. It is in many ways. It's awful. Yeah, it's extremely difficult.
Yeah.
I want to, and I kind of needed to fly back to Sweden.
Yeah.
But then I realized that all the shows that we were booked for Sweden Rock and Wacken. Honestly, I don't even remember what shows we were booked for this year. I can't change that. It is what it is.
But I mean, for the first time maybe in a long, long time, all humans on this planet are in the same shit.
That's very well put, I think. Yeah, it is like that. Exactly. We share the same shit.
And I think it's pretty remarkable. Of course, it's never equal. I mean, if you're poor and you cannot even wash your fucking hands, of course you're worse off. But at this point in time, we cannot ignore that we share this existence.
I like what you're saying, honestly, because I really do believe this. I lived in Greece when that little boy floated up on the shores.
Yeah.
That became vivid. Right?
Yeah, I get it.
And now we are in the same boat.
Money can't buy you health, it seems. The virus doesn't care if you're born rich, white, black, yellow, whatever. It doesn't discriminate. We can no longer ignore the fact that we share this existence, like it or not, be it environmental problems or, I mean, the music we both love. It's something that connects people. But for the first time, we're all connected. I think it's a weird side effect of this, that we can no longer ignore the fact that we're all on the same planet.
Yeah, I think so too. I totally agree with you there. Like, how weird the whole planet is. So, like, I mean, I can complain about my situation, but then I hear, most of my friends are musicians, and they have also lost a lot. So it is cool in a way that we actually bond. Yeah, I lost, seriously, Swedish money. I lost half to 1 million.
Yeah.
That was what I thought that would be my year of income,
Yeah.
trying to buy a house or build a house here. And I'm not Zlatan. I'm not, anybody else. I'm trying to also go through this,
Yeah.
And my friends in all the bands, Necrophobic, Entombed, whoever they are also struggling.
Yeah.
And we are struggling for real.
You are like the top tier bands that actually make an income from music, and you are hurting much more than the underground, because I mean we're never used to making any money. But you guys, you never became truly rich from it, but you could make a decent living, and all of a sudden that's just wiped out, and that's harsh.
Yeah, but that's what we have tried to continue, that thing of like get it going, And absolutely not rich.
Yeah.
I don't know how we dealt with it, but I do know that we did our best for trying to continue to make this what we are doing, whatever that is, somehow.
I have some questions for you, and I know in a time like this, it feels petty for me. I'm a huge fan of the music you made. I mean, we are the similar age, but I come from the countryside. I didn't grow up in Stockholm, so your music was sort of the background to my silent revolution, sort of guiding me along.
Where are you from?
I'm from Småland.
Okay, Kalmar. And
I am from Nässjö, which is like even worse.
Okay.
But we're all born somewhere.
Yeah.
But is it okay, despite the backdrop of current situations on the planet, if I ask you some questions? Because I mean I am a lyricist and a musician, and I know you do much more than lyrics. I mean, you do the concept and the music and everything. But I have some like more lyrical questions. Is it okay?
Yeah, go ahead. Absolutely.
If I was to ask you,
even if you're from Småland.
Yeah, I know. I mean, fuck. But I mean, you're from the Stockholm area. You sometimes you have to tolerate the peasants.
Yeah. True.
But to start it off, I mean, which song lyrically is your crowning achievement so far in Tiamat? I mean, which song would you say, hands down, fuck, I'm so proud of that?
You know what? It is one of the songs that I wrote the other day, honestly. But for you, what you have heard, I think Messinian Letter is a song where I really thought, like, I can write a love song, and really mean it. I didn't succeed with that song too, so I will still continue to try. But I have there's some bits here and there that I think like that's pretty good. But I don't really think that I have managed to do what I set out to do. No, absolutely not.
But if you were to pick one, Messinian Letter is the closest. I mean, you aimed for the stars and you hit at least the treetops.
Messinian Letter or Circles. Circles is a good song, I think. It's almost like a little bit ashamed of it, in a way.
Why?
Because it's blunt, it's up there.
Yeah.
And it's just like
vulnerable.
Yeah, exactly. Vulnerable, because I mean, I feel that, do I want to pretend to be cool?
Yeah.
Do I want to stand on stage and be something which I'm not? And when I write songs, I want to write them and let them be what they are. And Circles, Messinian Letters, Meliar, and a couple of other songs are close.
That's the human condition, isn't it? I mean, we aim for the divine in a way, or the unfiltered, and it's fucking painful. But the fact that you feel that you haven't 100% hit it yet means that you still have some strive to carry on, right?
Yeah, I hope that can be, well, what would you call then? I mean, driving force or a strength that you have that you carry into the next step or whatever. I don't know. I really don't know. And I don't even know if I want to know that bit. But
maybe it's not important, actually. Sometimes, I mean, from my fans, I get, people ask me interpretations of stuff, and I always try to say that it's not important what I meant, but the important is what they feel, which means that you can never really know when you hit home, because it's not up to you, right?
I must say, and I really do like to say this, I am not so strong, that I maybe pretend to be. But determination is still very strong in me. Although I know that I'm a weak person, but determination is still there. It is.
Because you transform almost with every record. I feel it, at least when I mean, I've been following you since the Sumerian Cry, and I mean, you have really sort of shed skin so many times.
They followed us longer than I did.
Yeah, well, maybe. But if you shift the perspective a little bit, what song do you think resonates most with the audience of the songs and the lyrics that you've written? I mean, what are people picking up on the most?
Well, it's weird because the songs that we have to play, and I understand that the bands have that, like Deep Purple have to play "Smoke on the Water," right?
Yeah.
That's just like, there's nothing, you just do it. And Van Halen would play "Jump," right? You could probably come up with more.
Any old Wasp song, Blackie still has to play them. Paradise Lost have to play, As I Die. They hate it.
Yeah, very true. And we have to play The Sleeping Beauty, Gaia. They're both written by a bass player that is not with us. He's alive.
Yeah, actually, I met him not so long ago, but that's another story.
No, he's a good guy and a good songwriter.
Yeah.
But it's a fact. I would be the main songwriter of my band, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not true, because the main songs of what we are famous for, if we are famous for anything, whatever, would be from Johnny.
Everybody's standing in the shadow of their own past a little bit, but you're standing in the shadow of a person who's no longer there to cast the shade even.
Well, I am here.
You are still here. And I'm happy for it. Are there any lyrical part that you wrote that you think have been, overlooked?
There are lyrics that I wrote that I think I shouldn't have written them. Now I understand that people didn't get it. For example, some things come out racist. Like, come on, I didn't mean that. You stupid fucking people didn't get it. I did not mean that to be that way that you think it is. And, and somehow I feel like, well, I sleep. I see myself in the mirror. I look like shit, seriously. But that's my shit in the mirror. You know what I mean?
I know. But I mean, Nietzsche would feel the same, I think. I mean, you can never control it.
Exactly. He would, definitely. Oh my God, for fuck. He would not be happy.
No, not at all. I mean, but this is both the curse and the beauty of writing stuff and put it out there, because it no longer belongs only to you, right?
Exactly. That's how it is, isn't it? Right. I mean, for real.
And I mean, also times change.
If you wrote Nietzsche, then you don't have to care at all. And somehow I feel that I wrote quite a lot of good stuff,
Actually, one of my best songs was written when, okay, I'm not going to bore you, but I'm going to tell you a little story, if it's okay.
Absolutely.
At the time, I was with a girl who was not doing well, but she had sort of half recovered from really tough depression with panic attacks and everything. And I had a friend who was slightly older, and his daughter was suffering tremendously. And I was always trying to, give him hope, because I've seen, you can do better. You can get out of the worst. And he called me one day, and he only said she did it. And I knew, of course, that his daughter was no longer with us. But it was the most tremendous blow to me personally, because I know what a caring, what a beautiful man he is, and how much he tried. But he also said that she couldn't stay on living for me, could she? And he's right. She couldn't. I was completely numb for some time, and also I had to help him build a website with her texts and her photos, just to put them out there. She was a beautiful person, beautiful human being, but maybe too beautiful for this existence. So yes, I've seen it up close. I advocate life, but I also know how fucking painful it can be.
I don't know what to say. Seriously, I don't.
No, there are no words, because actually I've wrote, I think, my best piece of lyrics just afterwards, coping with this, but I could never tell him that I wrote that song, because it was his loss, but my pain in a way. I only told it
So
once.
it was your loss too, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I
Must-
mean, indirectly or directly also. And sometimes, yeah, I mean, you got to dig really deep, I suppose. But I mean, I was trying to do good by giving hope, and we should always do that, I think. But
Yeah, I agree with that. Honestly, I think we should. I don't fully understand what you're going through and what you have been through. That's impossible.
yeah,
But you are a smart person, and you understand that. I went through mass shootings here in Canada a couple of weeks ago.
yeah, I know.
And my wife was almost killed.
Mm.
My wife was fucking close to death. For real. She was close to death. And therefore I can understand when we have, friends that go through stuff, and yourself, and I have to say myself too.
Mm.
We go through stuff, it's difficult to hear about persons, going.
It is, yeah. There is no way to alleviate the pain, really. I mean, you can understand it, you can feel it, but you cannot save people from what it means to be human, right?
No, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I understand it. You write songs also.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that you want to like, fuck it, I've been up all night, and now I want to do that thing that no one else did,
I don't even know if it's a choice, because I don't know if you know Sture Dahlström, the Swedish writer, but he was waking. And I know you love typewriters, by the way, but he said
Oh,
his fucking Sorry,
okay, then I love him.
you haven't heard of him?
No.
I'll
No,
send you some books, sir. I will, because you will love his writing. But he was woken at night by his volcano typewriter that forced him to go up and write, and that is how it feels sometimes.
I remember Nick Cave wrote once that the piano was like a crouching tiger in the corner of the room because she wants you to write on her. I don't know what should I think about that, honestly.
Do you choose art? Do you choose art, or does art choose you? Or is it just construction we do in order to glamorize? But I mean, I have tried to not do music. and I can't. I don't have that option. I tried to, but I failed.
Continue, but I mean, it's valid. It's a valid point.
Well, yeah. And this is a question from one of my listeners who wanted to hear your answer to it. Have you ever discovered new meanings in lines you've written that you haven't thought about when you wrote them, but you can see them in retrospect?
Yeah, I think, yeah. Do I have to give an example?
No, you don't. but
absolutely, yeah.
We become listeners ourselves, right? So, I mean, you go through the stuff you wrote when you were 20 plus, and as a 40 plus person.
I think that the best thing that a musician can be is to be a listener.
Right. It also makes you interpret yourself. Some of the stuff you write when you're 20 plus, you cannot write when you're 40 plus, and vice versa, I think.
Stop it. I try to be young. For God, stop it.
Yeah, I know. Another listener question, if I may just brain pick you a little bit longer before I let you, enjoy life. Which song do you consider the most autobiographical? Which captures you the most?
My wife is next to me, right? And I still have to say Messinian Letter.
If you get to choose, which artist would you like to collaborate with?
Alive or dead?
One alive and one dead, then.
Okay, one alive and one dead. Then I would say alive, Mikael Persbrandt.
I mean, you can make that happen.
Yeah, I think I could. Yeah. Dead, let me be boring and say Picasso.
Picasso. Yeah. Okay, that's I like it. That's outside the box. I love that. That'll be an interesting collaboration for sure.
Yeah, I don't know what I would add to it, but still, I think it would be good. Though I think it could be good.
Definitely. I have just two more questions. I just actually three, and this one is from a writer of this publication who wants could you just say something about, is there new material coming? Is there are you working on something, or at least are you considering working on something?
Okay, I hear you. I must say, so amazingly brilliant stuff is I can say it because it's not me. It's mainly Magnus, that is the guitar player, songwriter, writing most of the stuff, I would say, now. And Lars, our drummer.
Yeah.
And they are doing such amazing stuff that makes me write lyrics like I don't even understand.
That is pretty cool.
They should have most cred, seriously. Magnus Henriksson, Lars Sköld, and well, maybe a little bit to me then, because they push me to write songs, write lyrics.
I mean, I try to ask questions that might not be what you get every time. Just in short, what has surprised you the most, with life as an artist? I mean, you didn't know this when you were 15, but here you are in Canada, and you've written all these albums. You've done a lot of stuff. What of that did you not expect?
You know what? I mean, when I go out here, where I live right now, in Nova Scotia, and I go out and we have horses here.
Yeah, beautiful ones.
Yeah, they're wonderful, wonderful. And I go out and pet them, and there's none bit of that what you're trying to say. Maybe it's cool to dream of being a rock star, but in the end, it means absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Seriously, none bit.
That really wasn't, it sort of captures, and also I think it answered the last question, but still, if you met yourself when you were 17, what would you tell yourself?
Yeah, that's a very good question, though.
I know. I have no answer myself.
You haven't answered that to when you were 17?
No, I haven't.
I honestly think that I did what was right when I was 17. Honestly, I
Yeah.
don't regret anything, none bit. I did so many wrong things, and I could have ended up in jail and whatever. But
But you ended
would
up here
mhm,
with
yeah,
me.
yeah.
Johan, it's been a privilege, as I told you several times, and also thank you for taking time. I know it's people ask you questions and stuff, but I am sincerely happy that you took your time to share this, and I will share it with my listeners, because I mean, I think you cannot listen to my band without being a fan of your band. So, but I know that they will be quite happy that you actually dug a little bit into yourself. And thank you.
I thank you, and seriously, if your listeners would like, I'm not that far away. Honestly, I'm not far away. I'm on Facebook. Go there and ask me the question, because I think it's better that they ask me the question rather than,
Yeah, I think that is a bit of surprise. I have to say also, I was a little bit surprised. I asked you, would you be able, could you consider doing this? And you're like, yeah, sure, I could do that. and not everybody in your
Don't
position
you
would.
have that from other people? If you ask,
No,
I mean,
no, I will try to sort of put some context around that. I think it's because you come from an underground culture. I
yeah.
think so. Because we're all music fans after all. I mean, we're not that different, right?
No, I mean the love for music, even if it's sometimes a little bit harsh, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which might be underground, we still fucking love it. We do. No one can take that away from us.
No.
Never, ever.
And this is, I think, why we could have this conversation. And for that, I'm grateful. And Johan, been a privilege. Thank you. And best of luck with everything. And I did unmute my microphone. There are still some people here. I know that that segment will be viewed also in retrospect, because actually it's Johan from Tiamat telling us about, well, his ideas about lyrics. And I think it's pretty cool that to know what he thinks is the best lyrics, and also the fact that there is new music coming. It's been a while. I'm gonna wrap this up, because basically what I wanted to do was to be able to share the interview, which was supposed to be online, but it wasn't, and so instead it became this offline thing. And also I was reminded that I missed out, because I mentioned some books, and I need to put this up here. It's called Varken by Lisa Förer, which I think is to me it was it's really a nice book. It's in Swedish though, but it's about mythological creatures in a modern day setting. I really enjoyed reading it, and it's inspirational, and it's really well written. From Debutant, by the way. Friend of friends, but that doesn't in any way actually impact the way that I say it's well worth reading. So, guys, it's time to wrap this up, and it's time to go into Friday mode, whatever that means. For me, it means a few more beers, I think, and listening to some pre-prods and some stuff. I will also, I think, delve into Netflix or HBO, because I will abide by the social distancing rules. But I'm glad to be able to give you a glimpse into another artist and his ideas. And we all stem from the underground. but Tiamat, of course, has risen several steps over the most crude underground music, but it's still, I think, the underground attitude is what makes a difference, and I don't think we can ever sort of outgrow it. I hope not. But I wish you all the very best. Stay in touch, and come Monday there will be a live cast with live guests, and also feel completely welcome to send questions, comments, whatever. And take care, wash your hands, keep your social distance, and see you around. Cheers.